And happy holidays. Yeah, third state of Washington game in a row. Um, they're always been difficult since we've been here. Rivalry games, and they came out with a really good game plan defensively. They did a good job. They were physical with us. Um, we weren't great in transition in the first half. That's where I felt like we could have scored more points. A lot of opportunities were lost, and our defense was, a little subpar. They really hurt us in the paint. That was a big difference in the first half. Second half, we tried to just calm them down, just keep poised, keep executing. They did a good job at keeping us out of transition in the second half. Xavier couldn't get to where he normally gets to the basket, to the rim. Um, they loaded up, and yeah, got to give them a lot of credit. We were able to make a couple plays. Saw made a acrobatic end of a shot clock too, which sometimes that happens. And then I thought Braxton got a pass and automatically passed it right to Moses for a big three. But it wasn't how we wanted to play. I feel like we can play a lot better, but hats off to Eastern Washington, and we were able to find a way to win. And to be able to be 8-3 in the non-conference isn't really what our ultimate goal was. There was a couple games that we felt like we could have won, but 8-3 is still pretty good with a couple really high quality wins and a really really tough schedule. So we know what we have going into Pac-12 play. So. Yeah, found a way to win. Proud of our guys, but we all need a break from each other. It'll be really healthy for everybody.
Any particular defensive sweepstake you guys made at halftime? In that first half, they shot 52%, and
Yeah.
then in the second half, they shot 33.
We just challenge. What they do is they'll post you up. They find their mismatches. They're very physical. We put them on the foul line too much. We got in foul trouble, and they'll kick out for threes or score in the post, and that's the style that they play. It's been a really successful formula for them. We just challenged our guys. You got to be able to play one on one. You got to be able to be physical and guard one on one down there, and we did a decent job there. In the second half, they shot 33% and 18% from the 3-point line, so it was a better job. But we gotta be able to put two halves together like that and not put ourselves in the position, because we got to be a 9-point game. Our lead and our momentum was going in a forward direction in those areas, and we let them right back in the game with a couple plays that you can't make. So.
They outscored you guys 40-24 in the paint. Was that is that where you miss Frank?
Oh yeah, yeah, we miss Frank. Frank's presence in the paint, not only offensively and defensively, is huge. That's kind of, if you look at our numbers, that's where we usually hurt opposing teams, and we weren't able to do that tonight. But we did enough to win, which is important, and hopefully we get him back. And just decided not to play him tonight. It's get however many days until we don't play until the 29th, so 9 days, and you get to feel better and be able to come out with a victory.
Could he play tonight?
He could have played tonight. I thought they did a really good job. We got to get Braxton. He had 7 rebounds, 3 block shots in 16 minutes. He's such a good player. We just, when he had that injury, just getting him back playing, and he's really, really talented. We need him to step up a lot, like he did late in the game at CLU, and however many games he's really helped us. San Diego State was unbelievable, and got to get him, really confident. And Wilhelm's given us so many good minutes coming in the game, and running his stuff. But today was the first time like a team really took a saw out of the paint. They were really physical. They were loading up, and they were like daring us to shoot. And so we'll get better. But all these opportunities, they teach you about your team and expose weaknesses and those types of things, and then you improve your weaknesses and you get ready to play the next game. And that's why we played such a difficult schedule for the first 11 games.
How big of a deal is it with Moses having a good night shooting
It's great. I just wish we could have gotten more shots. I felt like I want Moses, if he wants to shoot a fadeaway from half court, I'm allowing it. I told him, you got to be open. I thought he passed up 2 or 3 shots. I want him to be more aggressive. This team believes in him. I believe in him. We need to get him shots. He's dangerous. But he's not just a shooter. Like he can pump fake and get in the lane. We got to get him to the foul line. He went 4 times today. But that's another area, to just put some points on the board, because he's an explosive guy. You start making 1, 2, 3, 4 threes, it becomes a different game.
Did you get any clarification on what Wallace did?
No, I think both those guys went at each other, and they might have said something. But a lot of teams, they were trying to play physical with us to create us to lose our mind, and and we just kept telling the guys, Poise, just do legal, play legal. Paul's not a cheap shot guy. He just plays really hard. But it was not a smart play having already 3 fouls, so he fouled out. But
It was 62-62 in the last 4 minutes, and then you guys separated. Just what was that difference?
We just challenged the guys. We've been in this situation so many times. Just last week, San Diego State, the Zag, these guys don't panic. Like, listen, we got to get a stop. And they know, like, the urgency was there. Now, what our challenge is that why wasn't that urgency there at the very beginning of the game? That's when you become great, when that urgency and that poise right from the get-go, and then you can, even when subs come in, that level, that standard of how hard we play, how smart we play is stays there, and possibly sometimes even does what? Elevates it. But they wanted to have a good Christmas.
The bigger play down the stretch, was it Moses' 3 in the corner, or was it Saz?
I thought both of them. I mean, Saz was like 1 second on the clock, and but both of those plays, just got to make plays. You got to make plays, and we did. KB made his foul shots. Moses made his foul shots down there, and we went through a period where we weren't making our foul shots, so they were empty possessions. But sometimes that happens. Corin gave up a 3 when it was a 6-point game. It's the only thing you can't do. You can't foul, and you can't give up a 3. And so we've made some breakdown plays, but those plays, learning from those, are only going to make us better, because as everybody knows, in the league that we play in, a lot of games are going to come down to the end, and we've been in a lot of those experiences. And I think our poise and our experience being in those situations really helped us tonight.
I know we keep on asking, but I saw Wesley Yates out there warming up and dunking it, and he looked okay. Is he going to be ready for conference play?
You know what? All I can tell you right now is he does individual stuff. He doesn't practice with the team. Until he practices with the team, and I wouldn't play him unless he practiced 2 weeks with the team. And so the biggest thing is that he feels 110% healthy, and then the doctors feel it, and he looks good. He works hard. He's in shape. That's who he is, and time will tell.
You kind of touched on it a little bit, but one thing you learned about your team in the regular season that was positive, and one thing that you want to see improve throughout the year?
I learned how tough these guys are. When you talk about experience, most of our players have been in those situations where it's, we came down 11 with 6 minutes to go, or 12 versus San Diego State, came back, had a chance to win the Zags game. There's so many games, Xavier, we've come from behind. And I think my thing with this team is, with our experience, with our depth, is just being more consistent on the defensive end. We're gonna win big because we, fill in the blanks. We got to defend at a high level. We got to rebound at a high level, and then we've got to share at a high level. Tonight was the first night we only had 9 assists, and 14 turnovers. That's not us. And so, we'll go back, we'll watch the film. But again, I think a lot of that was also how they defended us in some of those situations. But, to be able to survive and say, you know, we won this game, and, you know, it's a big deal.
When teams back off the sock, do you feel your confidence level in his perimeter game?
Yeah, I just felt like we did a bad job of really trying to set our screens lower because they were playing underneath. And he can shoot. I mean, this kid's he's a 33% career three-point shooter. He'll make them. You know, you want him to be confident he has the ball in his hands. So, yeah, he'll be fine. We just have to execute better in terms of how teams are starting to try to defend us.
Thanks, Coach. Happy holidays.
Let's go.